Winston and Julia. Their relationship is completely against society and the rules of the party that controls their thoughts and actions. They are in love, but any kind of relationship between party members is forbidden. In this society, love is viewed as a restriction, a law in which to love is to commit a crime. This restriction arouses the concept of forbidden love, where two people in love are prohibited to meet each other or to be with each other. They are able to get away with it for a while, but are soon caught, and by the end of the novel, the Brotherhood forces Winston and Julia to deny and betray one another. Most of Winston's torture had been done by a man named O'Brien. O'Brien threatened to put Winston into a torture chamber filled with rats, which were his biggest fear. It was in that moment that Winston wished it could have been Julia in the chamber instead, meaning he had betrayed her. This is exactly what the Brotherhood strived for, putting someone through so much guilt and humiliation that they eventually just became a mindless creature. Winston betrays Julia and endures so much torture that by the end of the novel, he regrets any doubt he ever had in the Brotherhood and admits that he loves Big Brother. And that's how the novel ends. Or is it? Nope, the story had just begun. Once Winston admits he loves Big Brother, he goes home and lays in bed and has a dream. He dreams all about Julia and all the amazing times that they had together. Suddenly, he wakes up and has an epiphany. He needed to be with Julia, and he didn't care about any punishment he would suffer. He just knew that he needed to be with her. He couldn't believe he had let the party control him and force him to betray his true love. He put on a coat and ran to find Julia. He finally found her and couldn't help but break down and cry. He felt so guilty for betraying her, and he begged her for forgiveness. Without a second thought, she accepted his apology, and they began to embrace each other in a long hug. Julia told Winston it was okay and not to feel hurt because they were brainwashed by the party, and both betrayed one another. Winston began to think. He devised a plan. He and Julia were going to run away from the terrible control of Big Brother and his party. So what did they do, you ask? Well, they hopped the very next flight to Honolulu, Hawaii, where the skies were blue and the sun was bright, and they were finally happy together. No longer would they have to hide their feelings towards each other, or constantly have to worry about thinking the wrong thing and being accused of thought crime. They were going to spend the rest of their life together in paradise and free of the party's control. Winston and Julia lived happily ever after. And that's how the story really ends.